So here's the first page of targets. It's not necessarily in any particular order. Some of the guys I like on this page a little more. Maybe last week I think you liked a lot of the second page guys better, but we'll start with these ones. At quarterback, I got to write my damn time stamp down because StreamYard screwed us for that, and now we have to do it manually. I got Sam Darnold, 75%, Caleb Williams, 59%, Flacco at 13% owned, Trevor Lawrence, 47%, Aiden O'Connell, 4%, QB 10 for Darnold, QB 19 for Caleb, 30 for Flacco, 17 for Lawrence, which is surprisingly high given how bad he's been, and 37 for O'Connell. Obviously, I think Darnold, it seems to be different categories here. So Darnold and Flacco, for me, are the ones where they're nasty, like they're ugly fill-ins here. And I have full confidence starting them, but I feel like at any given moment, they could completely evaporate. I feel like Caleb and Trevor Lawrence are mid to low end QB2s right now, but I'm buying them low or adding them low on the assumption that I think there's much more potential here. And Aiden O'Connell, I included here. He's kind of the desperation stash, assuming the Raiders are transitioning to Aiden O'Connell. So of these five, he is by far my least favorite. What do you think of these five quarterbacks, Jesse?
Yeah, I think if you're doing the Aiden O'Connell thing, like it's a rough go. You might want to look at someone like Tua Tagovailoa, who is on like 30, like he's on 63% of available rosters, like in redraft leagues. So I would much prefer that category because we've seen their offense, like it's so much better. But of these guys, Flacco's just point production, they just pass a ton. They do what they do. Same thing with Darnold. Like you know what you're getting. I'm expecting most leagues Darnold's gone, so. If my options are these four, I'm going to choose Caleb over those because he has the upside. Last week we saw it. Now I'll caveat that by saying that with the Panthers. Every team is good against the Panthers, so I do want to see a little bit more. But you kind of want to chase the upside with Caleb because he's the one guy that gives you the rushing element. Lawrence to a little bit as well, but like Caleb has a higher rushing floor, so I would choose that. And then if you're doing the like Flacco or Lawrence thing, I would just treat it week to week and play matchups because in good matchups, they both can be super productive. In bad matchups, we saw it with Darnold against the Jets. Like he struggled because it was really good defense. So you kind of have to take it week by week.
See, this one's weird for me. Even if I include Darnold in the list, assuming that I'm going to assume he's available. You're right, though. He's probably not. But say for argument's sake, he is. I still don't think he's my top option here. I get it. He's been by far the best. I feel like he's on his way down here while the others are on their way up. So for me, I think it's Caleb Williams as the easy number one here. Then it's between Darnold and Lawrence for me, where I guess I'm still probably going Darnold because we haven't seen if the Jags are fully going to turn it around. Then it would be Flacco, and Aiden O'Connell is a desperation. Like I have a situation where my quarterbacks are Aaron Rodgers and Deshaun Watson in Superflex. Aiden O'Connell is on my bench and may find his way into the lineup, but I don't like it, even with those two options. Although I do expect the Jets to turn it around here. Saleh out. You had to figure Rodgers was involved in that. Maybe Devontae Adams in. So the Jets could be turning shit around here. But so for me, assuming everyone's available, I've got it Caleb, Darnold, Lawrence, Flacco, O'Connell.
Yeah, that's totally fine. The one thing I will say, talking about bad defenses, Lawrence goes up against Caleb and the Bears, and that defense is like one of the better defenses in the NFL. So I really don't want to stream T-Law this week. I would just skip over him. Like I would rather go Caleb. And then there's another guy that's not on this list who plays the Carolina Panthers. It's Kirk Cousins. Like I would take that if you're looking for immediate impact because he's available in like I think a good amount of leagues too. So like I would choose him over those guys just because of the matchup he plays, and we've seen it like a good offense.
I switched to the second page of quarterbacks here. Kirko is not on them. He was over 75. I think he's 79 or 81. So like I said, anyone over 75 I couldn't include. So this page we've got Andy Dalton, 20% rostered, QB 28. Bo Nix, 19% rostered, QB 15. Gino, 64% rostered, QB 5. Danny Dimes, QB 14, 16% rostered. Justin Fields, 70% rostered, and QB 9. This one's tougher for me. I think I actually like this group a little bit more here. I would say, so Andy Dalton's going to be 5 for me. I think I like Bo Nix. I'm really turning around with Bo Nix. I love him more in Dynasty. For redraft, I think Bo Nix is 4. I have a hard time picking number one. My instincts tells me it's Geno, but Geno, Daniel Jones, and Justin Fields should be rostered in every league. I think I have it as Geno, Daniel Jones, Justin Fields, just because I don't necessarily trust Fields long term, and I don't trust Daniel Jones long term. So I think all three have similar upside. They're the best three rushing quarterbacks out of these 10. I just feel like Geno's got equal, maybe a little less upside than Daniel Jones and Justin Fields, but he has a far higher floor. So I have it Geno, Jones, Field, interchangeable, Nix, Dalton. What do you think about these five?
Yeah, like Fields the guy I'm going to continue to target because of the rushing upside. I will say Geno plays the 49ers this week, so I'm a little trepidatious or like scared of Geno just because I don't know how that matchup's going to go. Like we saw
Didn't matter for Kyler.
Yeah, like we'll see how it goes because they were under serious pressure all game, and that was against the Giants. Now you go against 49ers. I know their defense struggled a little bit. It's still the 49ers defense, so I think long-term Geno is by far the safest.
Of note, sorry to interrupt, but of note, I'm getting an update here. Russell Wilson was a full participant at practice today. I wouldn't have interrupted you, but I think, well, I don't know, but that's another reason why I have Fields the lowest of the three. I think you're right. He has top 3 or 5, and I know Geno's finished as 5. Daniel Jones is 7. Fields worries me. So sorry, continue. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
No, yeah, no, you're totally fine. I will say if you're chasing the mobile quarterbacks, it's just the higher floor. That's what they are. If you want the ceiling, that's where the passing game comes in. So like Bo Nix is not going to be a ceiling play. It's going to be more a floor play just because he's not a good passer yet. That's kind of just is what it is. You can play him in matchups. It's fine. So I would treat these guys in matchup dependent. I think Geno's the safest. If I'm shooting the upside each week, it's Fields. Like we see it each and every week. They let him run. And look at the numbers down below. The rushing is like far superior to everyone else. It gives him a massive high floor. So I'll keep chasing Justin Fields until, Russell Wilson does come back, if he comes back at all this year.
I think that's why Andy Dalton's the lowest of the 5 for me. The passing totals are good. I expect them to stabilize a bit like you've seen last week, but he's the only one of these 4 or 5, I guess, who is not really rushing the ball. Like Bo Nix is a rushing fool here, man. Daniel Jones has the lowest rushing out of the top 4, and that's saying something. Like I think personally, I can't see why they're not running Daniel Jones more. That was always his strong suit here for fantasy. So I really like, if I have room on my bench, well, super flex, I think you have to have all these guys rostered, but single QB, like I don't mind if I have to stream any of these guys. Like Geno's the one I have by far the most confidence in. I'm starting him in Scott Fishbowl over Anthony Richardson. The other 3, I'm not necessarily looking to bench Richardson for, but if Richardson doesn't play, I'm fine firing up any of these 5, but Dalton's the one I like least. So I think there's some decent options on the waiver wire here.
And like Daniel, I will say Daniel Jones goes against Cincinnati, and their defense is atrocious. They can't stop anybody right now. So if you want to fire up Daniel Jones this week, I'm fine going and chasing Daniel Jones.